Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the topic of about unilateral appointment of arbitrators. So next slide. So before going to this unilateral appointment of arbitrator, we should have some basic overview of appointment of the arbitrators. What does the Act says? What does the section says? So Section 11 of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 2019 says about the appointment of arbitrator. So, if an arbitrator can be of any person of any nationality. He can be an Indian, or he can be an American, or he can belong to another country citizen. In the second point, we have if in case if party A appoints an arbitrator and if party B appoint an arbitrator, both the appointed arbitrator will appoint the presiding arbitrator. He'll be the presiding arbitrator for the tribunal. So the Act says there is a 30-day limitation period for the appointment of arbitrator. If else any of the party make an application to the court, then the court will appoint one. That is the next point. If any conditions fails, the appointment will be made by the Chief Justice of High Court or any person or any institution designated by Supreme Court or High Court. So in the last point we have, it's an example that in an international arbitration, if USA is a party and China is another party, and the arbitrator should be a citizen not from the same countries of both the parties. The arbitrator should be of a different nation. That is, I have listed here as an Indian arbitrator. The next slide, please. So before going to this unilateral appointment, key topic area, let us discuss about a case law of TRF Limited versus Inogo Engineering Projects. The judgment was delivered in 2017. So this is the first case which deals with the unilateral appointment. There was, the party, they had a contract, and the contract contains an arbitration clause, which clearly refers that, every other disputes will be referred to sole arbitration of the managing director of the buyer. That is the Inogo Engineering or his nominee. Any nominee appointed by the MD of the Inogo Engineering Projects. So in this case, the court held that if any person is ineligible to appointed as an arbitrator by the operation of law, by the virtue of law, he cannot able to appoint one as an arbitrator. So this is the case judgment. This is a judgment which delivered in the case TRF Limited versus Inogo Engineering. So now we jump on to this, main case law of unilateral appointment. It's a landmark judgment which was given by Justices Uday Umesh Lalit and Indu Malhotra. Perkins Eastman Architects versus HSCC. So the judgment was delivered on 26/11/2019. So the main issues discussed in this case is if any person who is ineligible to act as an arbitrator, whether he can appoint one, or whether the court have the power to intervene under Section 11, that is appointment of arbitrator. So as mentioned earlier, these are the issues discussed in the case. We have another issue. I'll just come to at the end of the session. So the facts of the case is the contract was entered between Consortium of Applicants and Hospital Services Consultancy. So these are the parties that they made a contractual obligation, and in that contract they had an arbitration clause. That is, if any dispute occurs, it shall be referred to a sole arbitrator, which is appointed by the Chief Managing Director of the respondent, that is HSCC. And such appointment should be made within 30 days from the request for arbitration, that is from the first notice served. Also, similar to other cases, dispute arose between the parties. Either one of the parties couldn't perform their contractual obligation, and also notice was served to invoke arbitration clause, but no arbitrator was appointed within the time frame. What they had is 30 days. Now, after the 30 days, the chief general manager appoint a sole arbitrator that is from their same company. So because of this, the applicant made an application under section 1116 before the Supreme Court. That is, there was a time constraint in made in appointment of arbitrator, and also there was no impartiality in appointment of arbitrator. Yes. So the court interpreted the section 12 and section 5th schedule and 7th schedule of the Act. What does the Act says? So under section 12, the Act clearly says that the relationship of arbitrator, if it falls in the list of 7th schedule, then the arbitrator he'll be not eligible to be appointed for the case. And what does the 5th schedule and 7th schedule says about this? So when an arbitrator is a manager, director, or part of the management, he will be not appointed as an arbitrator. But what deals in our cases, for Perkins-Eastman cases, the manager or the director will not be appointed as an arbitrator, but he can appoint one person as an arbitrator. So here we go. So the court referred to this case law, which we have seen already, that is TRF Limited versus Innogo Engineering. That is, in this judgment, the court held that the person who is ineligible to appoint as an arbitrator, he cannot make any further appointment on the same case. So he cannot appoint another arbitrator for the case. So the judgment was delivered. So before going to the judgment, I'll just compare both these cases. In both the cases, the arbitration clause was different. In the previous cases, it was different, and also clause was different, and also in the Perkins-Eastman case was also different. So what makes a connection to both the cases? What made the court to consider the TRF judgment in this Eastman-Perkins? That is 2 points, which is ineligibility. Ineligibility with the ineligibility was the connection of appointing authority. What? With the dispute, which is connects to the dispute. And also the interest. This is the main key element. That is, what will be the outcome of the decision of the arbitrator, who will be benefited? That is, the appointing party will be benefited from the outcome of the decision. Thus, the Supreme Court rendered its judgment that the person who cannot able to be appointed as an arbitrator, he is not able to appoint another person as an arbitrator. And also, the court held that there should be the independence and impartiality of the person appointed as an arbitrator. The court, as I already said, the court has power to intervene under section 11 on the appointment of arbitrator. In the appointment of arbitrator, if it is international commercial arbitration. In our case, Eastman-Perkins is it has a head office in United States of America. So it comes under the scope of international commercial arbitration. Thus, the courts have all the powers to intervene and make an appointment of an arbitrator. So as the judgment was delivered, what made impacts on the society or in the arbitration, arbitration community, arbitration, in arbitration. So these are the impacts which the judgment made. That is, the judgment made an impact in the government contracts. In all the government contracts, the arbitration clause will be, in all the government contracts, the government authority will be either they'll be act as an arbitrator, or else they'll appoint an arbitrator for favor for them. So that also, the contract which frequently contains a one-side arbitration clause, which we've seen earlier for both the cases, TRF case and also the Eastman-Perkins case, we have one-side arbitration clause. So based on this judgment, we will have an impartial Indian arbitration ecosystem. And thank you.